Good morning, everyone. I am delighted to welcome you on behalf of the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine to the first day of our two-day workshop on changing the culture of data management and sharing. And please note the hashtag down below. This workshop focuses on the NIH data management and sharing policy. This final policy was released in October of 2020. It basically requires that a data management and sharing plan will be required starting January 25th, 2023 for all NIH-funded research. The goals of this policy are to increase scientific transparency and public trust, improve reliability and reproducibility, enable reuse of valuable data, and accelerate discoveries. The sponsor of our workshop is the NIH Office of Science Policy, and the goals are to consider how to prepare for the implementation of this policy and explore what is needed to foster a culture shift towards the broader sharing of scientific data. And I want everyone to make sure that we keep in mind that there is a date when this is all going to start, so that constrains our discussion. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge the hard work of the Workshop Planning Committee. My name is MARYANN Martone, and I co-chaired the committee along with Richard NAKAMURA. And the committee has met over the last several months to pull this outstanding workshop together. So now I'd like to introduce my co-chair, Richard NAKAMURA, to provide some opening perspectives on this topic. Richard?
Thank you. Thank you, MARYANN. Here are a quick view of some of the aspects of data sharing that we will be, and managing, that we will be discussing today and tomorrow. Of course, there's the issue of benefits of data sharing and fair data. And fair is findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. Obviously, expansion of data sets and meta-analyses are possible. Increasing diversity and utility of study populations is an important gain from data sharing. New conclusions from old data sets. Very important, especially as we've seen recently, is an increase in speed of science and the efficiency of science. Data sharing also opens up science and allows citizen science. It allows the reanalysis of the statistics and data replicability and variability. Very importantly, we believe that it increases trust in science and reduces the temptation to trim, cheat, or select. But changing the policy around sharing, or changing scientists' habits around sharing, is not simple. Achieving universal availability of scientific data requires a culture shift. Changing human behavior is difficult. Culture is inherently normative and has a lot of inertia. So what must be done to achieve this change? Infrastructure needs to be developed. Researchers need the necessary tools and access to expertise to manage the data from inception to study end. The focus here is on data, but data without code is not nearly as useful. Obviously, I'm not reading every bullet, and I'm just featuring the highlights. But culture shift also requires cooperation among various parts of the system. All the parts of the system need to work together. PIs, scientists, and their labs must have the cooperation and the facilitation by their departments, their university libraries, by their universities, by influential consortia, training programs, scientific leadership, funding organizations, scientific reviewers, data managers, and very importantly, publishers. How can sharing be made easier and more beneficial to data generators is a key question here. How can we make this the most beneficial to the key people, the PIs, and their laboratories, so they get benefit from the sharing as well. What tools, resources are needed, what funding needs exist, and what challenges are there. We need to align incentives, privacy and IP restrictions, and the overall resistance to culture change in the direction of change for this all to work. So that's what our meeting will involve over the next 2 days. Let me just give you some reminders. The workshop will be recorded and materials and videos will be uploaded to the website within a couple of weeks after the event. The Slido platform beneath the webcast video can be used for entering comments and questions. Please include your name and affiliation. The full agenda over 2 days is a reminder to speakers and moderators to stay on time. The agenda is very full. The post-workshop survey will be distributed on day 2. Please take a few minutes to share your thoughts with us. Okay, thank you very much. And I'm going to introduce the first speaker. The first speaker is Lyric Jorgensen, who is the acting director. She's the permanent deputy director and currently the acting director of the Office of Science Policy of the National Institutes of Health. Lyric Jorgensen, please tell us about your goals for this meeting.